Hola, YouTubers. I forgot my mics, so I'm going to use my headset, so hopefully you can hear me a little better. What I'm going to pull is 297C cat skid steer up some pretty steep grades here through the mountains, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that, or how this truck handles itself. Do not do what I do. I'm either, I don't know, too dumb to know better or too smart to get myself into too much trouble. I'm unsure, but I am over my towing capacity for this truck. I've done this with many other trucks in my videos. I do this to show you what these trucks can and can't handle, because if they can handle what I do to them, they can surely handle your load-rated stuff quite well. The reason that I am comfortable doing this stuff is because I heavy haul with semi-trucks all the time. Spend a lot of my life good and over 100,000 pounds. So I'm not too worried about how this is going to go here, because I am probably, I don't know, 25,000 gross maybe. Ain't no big thing, just got to think a little bit. But either way, bumper pull trailer, 14K axles, tilt deck, PJ something, Cat 297C skid steer. Let's take her for a run, see how she goes, eh? Okay, I figured I might as well get a clip of a little bit of town driving here. And given that I'm not very camera savvy, I'm going to describe to you what the engine is doing here. So right now I've got it, I actually locked it out, and these Fords you can lock out your gears, you know. Just in drive tow haul on, I locked out 5th and 6th. Oh great, yellow light. It's downshifted from 4th to 3rd, and then down to 2nd to try and help me stop. These trucks do a pretty good job. I always was impressed with Ford's tow haul. It always seemed to be decisive and quick on its decision making. I never felt like they were too in between on stuff, you know. But anyways, I'll do a little in-town acceleration here. I'll do some homework in between clips here at the next light when I'm not recording to see what this 297C weighs. It's kind of a big girl, so yes. But anyways, there's green light. First gear, I kind of got to ease through these bumps. These are rugged here. Well, I'd say I'm probably, oh, there we go. Gave it a little downshifted back to first because I was kind of slow throttling it through. There's 30, 35, 40 mile an hour, and I'd say I'm half to 3/4 throttle. Maybe less than half, maybe 2/3 to half. I wasn't really in it anything crazy. But yeah, it's 95 degrees today. Got the AC on high. You know, we're above almost 6,000 feet even here in town, and so, like, well, maybe not. Maybe we're at 5,000 here in Fort Collins. But anyways, it is harder to keep an engine cool in Denver on a 90-degree day, or say a 75-degree day, than it is to keep an engine cool in Phoenix, Arizona on a 100-degree day because of air density. You know, our air is so thin up here, it doesn't take as much heat with it when it passes through the radiator. So Colorado's a great place to tear stuff up. You know, I'm good at it. My customers are good at it. It's just the way the world goes up here. Everything's steep, it gets hot, and there's no air to pull the heat out of your heat exchangers. So anyways, yeah, just driving along here. I mean, you can see traffic in front of me. It's not like I'm just getting left in the dust here. Pretty casual driving, really. You know, that's the big thing I talk to, you know, a lot of people about is, like, the only time that I see it, like in this scenario, if I was out on the highway and I wanted to run 70, 75, you know, all the time, that was more than 50% of my driving while heavy towing, I would probably get a diesel. But for like what I do with this pickup, I tow 30 to 40% of the time with it. Most of the time it's under 70 miles an hour, because even here in Colorado, the dang highway's so busy that you're not going to get out and run 75, especially with a trailer, at least not if you're smart, because traffic goes from 70 to 7 miles an hour and a couple hundred yards sometimes out there. So, you know, that 65, like yesterday, I was hauling a 980 Cat down to the Springs, and I think I carried a casual 60, 65 if I had a lot of room in front of me, but if traffic started building up, I'd hang around, 55, 60 mile an hour just to, oh, there's your Colorado traffic, back on the brakes. For these trucks, these Fords, this is the lightest spec F-250 or full-size truck. Well, besides the F-150, but F-250 goes as a light spec. It doesn't have a heavy tow package on it, but Ford always seemed to have super good brakes by comparison. I've all the brakes I've done, I find the Ford pads to be a little bit bigger than Dodge. I don't really know about Chevy that much, but I do know some guys that have some pretty serious complaints about kind of that late model style Chevy. I'd say 18 to current. They run 3500s. They're concrete guys. They haul skid steers and mini axes all the time, and they are pretty seriously unimpressed with the braking capabilities of those Chevys. Now, keep in mind they're going from like the 4500 Rams that have, the reason they go to the bigger wheels on the 4500s is a bigger brake. So pretty significant jump there in just rotor diameter and things like that. So all that stuff adds up. But nonetheless, like I know they compared those new Chevy brakes to a 2011 Chevy, and the 2011, in their opinion, like I said, I don't have numbers or facts to tell you, but in their opinion, from what they had told me, that 2011 would shut the load down a lot faster. Where in these, like this Ford here, I don't feel at all like I've got too much back there. It handles itself well for having a big old kitty cat back there. So anyways, I'll shut you off for a bit. We're going to turn and head up the mountains here in just a tad. So I don't know if you can see up there, but straight ahead you see there's a dam up there, and so we're going to climb up to that dam. We do that pretty quick. We'll hit one switch back and head up. It's pretty steep. I'd say it's 10% probably, maybe 12. And then we'll go around the lake and kind of buzz down and around and climb one really decent hill. Actually, I got 3 big hills on this haul that are pretty significant. If you're going to kill a truck or a transmission, we should be able to do it here. One thing about this truck, I will have a complaint. It's not really a complaint as well as I'm not used to it. These fans on these newer trucks, they sit there and modulate speed. For the longest time, and like on semi-trucks, your fan's on or off, and so this thing will kind of, if you're listening to the engine, throw you off a little bit because the fan will rev up and slow down, and you won't really have any engine RPM change, and so it kind of throws me off just a little bit there. But yeah, anyways, maybe we'll start climbing here. I'm in 3rd gear, and we'll see if we can hold the speed limit. You can see up that, you can kind of see on the top of that hill there where all the traffic is. That's where we're headed. So we climb pretty fast. I'm 40 mile an hour right here at the bottom, speed limit. And then we'll hit a good, right U-turn pretty much right up here, and then we'll keep on climbing. So it's going to make us drop a couple of gears and some speed. There's 2nd gear, holding 40. See, we got a pretty good curve here, so I got to get out of it now. See, well, and I'm on a hill too, but this truck, it holds its gears, so it's using its own vacuum as an engine brake. That's what they do with gas engines to help you slow down a little bit, since they don't have like an exhaust baffle or anything. I'm worried then we'll have to get down into 1st gear. Yep, there it is. I mean, this baby's pretty steep. Let's see what she's got. There's wide open. We're at 5,000 RPM and 35 miles an hour. That's accelerating up the hill. See if she'll give me 2nd up here. Woo! There's 6G. Downshift into 2nd. Held it like a man. We're at 3,500. And I got to let back out of it. So, yeah, I was able to catch 40 miles an hour again up here before having to slow down one more time. My coolant temperature's right in the middle. My transmission temperature's right in the middle. The fan did come on there at the top. We're just hanging in there just like she should, Super pretty up here. There's a big reservoir above town. Yeah, that fan throws me off. Kicks on high and on low, and it makes me think the transmission's slipping, but it's not. So yeah, there's the top of the first hill. I was able to hold speed limit, and I will turn you back on here in a few. Okay, we're about to roll back into our next little hill here. This one's a pretty good climb. It goes up, and then it's pretty steep coming down the other side, so I'll kind of show you how to run. You know, these gas engines, they do have a decent amount of retarding horsepower if you can mess around with them a little bit. What they do, it's kind of like I explained in the last clip, is they, with the throttle body closed, they pull a vacuum, and that vacuum makes it hard for that piston to come back down, and so it actually uses that as a retarding horsepower. There we are. We'll start climbing here. Back in second gear, 35 mile an hour at the bottom. This one's a steep some gun. There's first gear. We lost our momentum down there in the corner for sure. There's second. And we're back at 40 miles an hour and climbing. That's my speed limit. So there's wide open. There's 50. We're still climbing. I mean, this is an easy 12% hill. I'm not overheating. The transmission's doing fine. We're spinning 5,000 at 55 miles an hour. She's holding about 52. There we go. It's kind of set in her ways. I'm going to have to back out of it here at the top of the hill. There you go. I got to back out of it so I can slow down. So what I'm going to do now, for like this descent, I'm going to lock myself in. I want to hold that second gear to descend here. You usually want to go down the hill in the same gear or one gear lower than what it takes to climb that thing. So sit there and feather the brakes, but use the engine to hold us back a little bit. Then we're going to climb. You can see that canyon straight ahead. Right there, you can kind of see that road. We're going to climb right up that one, too, and that's a steep son of a gun. You know, it's not like a complete engine retarding brake, but it definitely helps hold you back. Like I made it down this hill in about 4 brake applications to stay under 35 miles an hour. So, not too bad. Uh-oh, somebody's in trouble. Yeah, we're up to 96 degrees, and now we're probably getting closer to that 6,000 feet, I'd say. We'll roll into the bottom of this hill at 35 miles an hour and 3,000 RPM in second gear. We'll get down here, get around the corner, and just give it to her. Oh, she might not have to downshift. Oh, yeah. Okay, this is a good one. Okay, there's full throttle, and I'm accelerating. I'm at 38, 39. It's 40 miles an hour. So I'm speeding by comparison up this hill. Well, this one's going to pull her down a little bit. I mean, this is a steep old son gun. It's definitely over 12%. Well, there's 35 miles an hour and about 3,400 RPM. It's holding it. I'm going to lose it. I'm going to have to drop a gear. Yep. All right. So there's first gear and 5,000 RPM. So now that I know that I can't hold the second gear, I'm just going to leave her right here in first. and pull this hill at the speed limit, 35 miles an hour. Oh, there's the fan. See if she overheats by the top. I doubt it. Fords don't overheat. Well, there's the fan. Oh, there's back in second. The hill petered out a little bit, so it let her have second. Yeah, now I'm accelerating back up, getting close to 40 here. There she goes. I don't know if you guys saw my last video. Well, yeah, it was my last video. When the guy cuts me off, I'm driving my International. That's on this hill. Right up here is where this happened. I was actually headed to get this machine about a month ago. So, but I'm going to leave her in second gear, 3,500 RPM, about 38-ish miles an hour. Because this is a long, steep son of a gun. Now, it's not that steep, but it's really long. You know, and these hills will come up and get your brakes just as fast as the short, real steep ones, you know. So you just gotta keep her easy and pay attention. So being in second gear, 3,500 RPM, it doesn't take much brake to hold it under 40 mile an hour. Right down, back off the brake and maintaining 40. Little brake application there. Back off the brakes. It's hanging out 38 mile an hour roughly. Yeah, at this point I don't have to hold the brakes to stay around 40. I mean, you can't, like, you know, this truck has 327,000 miles on it, almost 328,000. As far as I can tell, this is a original running gear. I mean, nothing's been changed. No engine, no transmission, no transfer case. I don't even know what the spark plugs are like. I haven't had those out. It looks like someone put a new alternator on it at one point. As far as I know, this truck is almost entirely original. We did, I think, probably the first oil change they ever had done on the transfer case and the transmission a couple weeks ago. And just changed oil in the engine. Engine doesn't burn any oil. It's got an exhaust tick when you first fire it up, but I mean, it's nothing miserable. It goes away in a few seconds once the manifold heats up, so I'm probably going to leave it alone. So yeah, we're at the bottom of that hill, made it down with, what, 3 or 4 brake applications. My brakes are still good and cool. There's no problems there. That's the bottom of the hill. That's really the big, nasty, steep part. Now I know for a fact I've been around many trucks that couldn't haul campers over that little run right there on a day like today. They just get too hot. This truck never broke the center of the temperature gauge, and the transmission stayed under half. These trucks, they seem to have really decent cooling systems. You know, in the comparable years of the Chevys, you can't say the same. I mean, those trucks, we work on them all the time. They can't idle with the AC on in the summertime and not overheat. So they're kind of a bummer. I guess where I'm headed with this is just that these, I mean, for the money you can't buy a tougher truck, and I'm considering, like, even if you were to stoop down to the half-ton market, I would say you can't buy a better truck than these 6.2 powered Fords. I'd put them up against any Tundra ever, because if you've done any homework, the Tundras, there's no way a Tundra is going to pull that trailer up a hill like that, even in brand new form and not overheat a transmission. They seem to have pretty decent transmission cooling issues, which is unfortunate. But anyways, I hope these videos are helpful. And thanks for watching. I'm going to keep kind of beating on this truck and see what it takes to kill it. And I'm a little concerned and excited at the same time that it could be a good long while before this truck gives up the ghost on me for a reason that's not worth fixing. You know, I spent $2,500 on this truck. I don't know, I've spent $500 on oil servicing it. And here we are, just beating the daylights out of it all the time. Just keeps chugging away. So anyways, thanks for watching.